But just wanted to talk about some stuff that I think you guys will need to sort of get clarification on when it comes to the administration in America and their plans to wage war against Venezuela. Now, you might say, you really want to talk politics? No, I don't. I don't like talking politics. But it seems that a lot of you are missing the point about why things are happening, and you need to know. So, this is the point, and this is the truth. The war against Venezuela and the drug cartels, which probably are actually drug cartels. I probably wouldn't be surprised if they weren't. But you know what I mean. That is definitely probably a reasonable excuse, but what does Venezuela have lots of that America has always wanted lots of and the complete control of? Think. Oil. They don't want to care about drugs. Okay, they don't care about drugs. The American government doesn't care about drugs. The CIA make tons of money off drugs. Why are they going to end their cash cow? Think about it. We all know this. If drugs were really a problem in America, they would tackle the fentanyl abuse there. Because people are dying. More people are dying than ever from fentanyl. Okay? So why wouldn't you tackle the actual issue and stop people taking drugs? I mean, drugs are only sold because people buy them. So yeah, you can go after the source, but you're never really tackling the problem. Okay, so if you don't deal with your problem, the problem remains. Okay, so you must deal with your problem to remove the issue. Okay, so if you really, really wanted to tackle the war on drugs, you would try and get people off drugs. You would do something, right? Now, there is another reason why it's not about drugs, okay? That's plainly obvious to anyone, okay? That is the fact that most of the drugs are made in Colombia and Mexico. The fact that the gangs there have the strongest influence over the governments, pretty much run the countries, okay? The gangs in Colombia and Mexico run their countries, respectively. Like, this is known, all right? If you are really after drugs and you really cared about stopping drugs, you would go to Colombia and you would go to Mexico with an army. You wouldn't go to Venezuela. So, again, it goes back to why not go to Colombia? Why not go to Venezuela? And the simple answer is that they don't care about drugs. Okay, they don't care about drugs. Don't be fooled into thinking that it's about drugs. Okay? It's always about control and money. And who controls the American government? Think. We've covered this. Big oil. Okay? And who owns big oil? Think. BP, Shell, Halliburton, all of those companies that are involved with oil. That is who controls the American government. That's who dictates policy, who you go to war with, how your money is spent, everything. Only a fool believes otherwise. Okay? You can say, oh yeah, but the presidents make decisions and that. Not big decisions though. Not big. They're not deciding the fate of America. They're deciding little innocuous things that will affect the average person in a way that might be meaningful to them, but ultimately won't really do anything. Okay? I'm going to give you an example here. Recent example. Trump. Okay? He just said, oh, we've got leftover tariff money. Okay? Tariffs are just extra taxes. Okay? They're just extra taxes. Okay? So what has happened? What has Trump done? He's gone, oh, I've taxed these people far too much, and inflation and the economy is going down the toilet. So I need to inject some money back into the economy so that the economy doesn't tank. Okay, fine. What's he doing? Oh, I've got leftover money. All low-income earners, blah, 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 will get $2,000. Fantastic. How much of those low-income earners have paid more than $2,000 in taxes? How much? Guess. Probably all of them. So it's basically like the equivalent of someone coming into your house, stealing all your stuff, and then going, here's a little bit back for you because I stole all your stuff. I feel bad, so I'm giving you some stuff back. Okay? What's going on, Uncle? Talking about something I don't like talking about much, which is politics. All right, so we're all talking about Venezuelan war and the real reason, which is oil. Okay, in case you missed that bit, the big reason America wants to go to war with Venezuela is oil, iron, ink, INC. Okay, it's always oil, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, it is always oil. All you have to do when you want to know about what a war is about or what anything's about, all you have to do is just track the money, okay? You just track the money. Who wins? I'll tell you something about that war in Afghanistan, right? Something someone told me long time after it happened. I was working a security job. I actually could have been sent to that war, by the way. I had joined the Australian Army, and due to depression at the time, I was going through big depression. Wasn't dealing with it. I didn't believe in myself, and I gave up on myself before I passed the army. Everyone told me I could have passed, but at the time, that's what happened. Okay, so that was one of my regrets and failures, is that I didn't pass the army when I should have. But the thing is, the Afghan war was on at that time. I could have been sent, okay? I could have gone and fought. So it was a big regret that I didn't do that. But anyway, moving on, I'll tell you something about that war, okay? What do you mean before you pass the... Well, you see, okay, so when you get selected to join the army, you have boot camp and all that, and I gave up in boot camp. So that's why I didn't pass. That's why I didn't consider... Yes, I enlisted. And then I quit. So that's why it was a failure, you see? Make sense? So yeah, exactly. So that's why. Okay, we all make decisions and regrets. I tried to go back. I tried to fix it. I couldn't. All right. So one thing about life is don't quit on your decisions. Sometimes you just get to go through it. All right. Where do you do basic training? You go to Kapooka, which is in where is it? It's in New South Wales. It's near Melbourne, I think, near Wagga Wagga. I think that's where it is. Something around there. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Forget that. That's not the point. All right. The point is the war in Afghanistan, right? Like some things you might not have been told about it. So, well, not really, man. Not really, because like there are other things. Like, okay, so this is why George Bush Jr. and Dick Cheney decided to war in Afghanistan. This is what matters, man. I'm telling you. All right. So, they have what do you call it? They have interests, financial, or they had financial interests invested in Halliburton. All right. So Halliburton is an oil pipeline company. They make pipes for oil. So when the American planes went over to Afghanistan, what do you think they actually bombed when they were over there? Like, what do you, like, we're not really told, right? But what do you think they actually bombed? You might be going, I don't know, right? Like, I don't know. All right. Yes, the pipelines. They bombed the pipelines. So then which company do you think comes in and goes, we're going to build all these brand new pipelines. that you just bombed, by the way. So all that money, all right, that's what it was about. All right, that's what it's about. It's about how to make those monies. So that's why George Bush Jr. and Dick Cheney made a lot of money. All right, it was never about weapons of mass destruction. It was never about fighting terrorists. It was an excuse to make money, oil money. All right, so unfortunately, 500,000 Iraqi people died in that war. So 500,000 people died. I don't know about Afghanistan. I don't know how many people died there, but it was not good. All right, a lot of people died. It's only because we don't see it that we don't actually understand the gravity of the situation. But I'm telling you, a lot of people died over there. All right, and that's why they hate us, by the way. But that's it. That's basically, like, there's your reason for why we went to war. Had nothing to do with the Twin Towers being attacked. That was an excuse, all right? That's a complete excuse, all right? Yeah, it was the perfect excuse, and by all means, the evidence was in to say that it was engineered by the American government, by the way, because there was some things there that evidence-wise that a lot of people don't have to be a conspiracy person to say. You just have to go, okay, let's just look at it as Occam's razor. Like, the simplest answer is usually correct, and this is, you just got to be smart, right? So what does Occam's razor tell us? A passport from an aeroplane that crashes into a building, probably in a big fire and everything, probably wouldn't be found on the ground, correct? That's pretty simple, which by the way, perfect, nice passports of these terrorists were found. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Yes? Now, what else didn't we find evidence of, and was at the time, pardon me, at the time, everyone covered up, right? Everyone covered it up because the news showed it and then it was immediately taken away. And that was at the Pentagon. And a firefighter was on the news and he says, a plane crashed here and a plane crashed here and where's the wreckage? Like, where's the plane? All right, because we have a great big hole, but we don't have a plane, right? So does that not make you think, ooh, that's interesting? A question, just off topic here. Question, what squadron were you in at Kapooka? I actually don't remember. I mean, we're talking like 20 years ago. I think it had an 8 in it. It could have been like 81 or something. Or I don't know, man. Like, I thought it was 49 in my head when I'm reading your question, but I don't know. I don't remember. All I remember is I joined up as an infantryman because at the time that's what I could get in as. And back then, again, off topic, it was an honor to fight for your country. I had to prove myself above, maybe 300 other guys to get that job. Like, it was really hard to get into the army. You weren't just enlisted. Like, it took me 7 attempts, all right? I applied 7 times to get in. Like, they said, oh, you're too skinny. So I had to go to the gym and train and eat, get my fitness, like, way up there because and there was things like that, like, I had to prove myself in many ways. So it wasn't the same as it is, like, probably now, because they probably can't get people now for obvious reasons, because the government sucks and who wants to fight for this government? But but anyway, back to what we were talking about. So talking about the Twin Tower thing, it was never about that. They don't have squadrons. I don't know, man. Like, Jesus Christ, it was like 20 years ago. Like, okay, you sound like you're an expert on it. wherever they send people to be trained, all right? So just forget it, all right? I don't know what you're trying to prove here. If you're trying to say I wasn't selected, then no, I was. I just gave up, all right? It's that simple. I sucked at that time. That's it. We change. People change. Anyway, and it was a big regret. It was a big regret. I held on to that guilt for many years, for like 10 years at least. I remember I looked at the certificate they gave me at the end or whatever. They sent it to my mum. I didn't really want it. And I just ripped it up. That's how pissed off I was with myself. I looked at it and I just ripped it up. I don't even know if she still had it. No idea. I tore it to pieces. Or at least whatever they gave me, I ripped up. Whatever they gave my mum, I have no idea. I don't care. And I look at my failures and I just learn from them. That's all I can say is, it's all you can do is see what you did wrong and go, okay, yeah, what's up? Not much, man. We're just talking about American government, big oil, the CIA, money. Where does it all come from? Why you all go to war? Why do people die? Money. But why do we allow this? Like, what? Why are we just talking about it? Why don't we actually go challenge the government with politics or something and say, no, we want investigations into these wars. Who benefited from it? Like, maybe we should be doing petitions, like to each, like maybe I should petition my government. Maybe you should petition your government. And we should say, well, we don't really want to go fighting wars for no stupid reasons and throwing our lives away, because that's dumb. So why don't we petition them and say, I want to see evidence as to who's benefiting from these wars and why we initially went to war with these countries in the first place. Like, say, let's take the recent one with Venezuela, all right? We all know that there's a big war coming there. America's just looking for their excuse to, like, unleash the dogs of war. We know this. You know this. I don't need to tell you that. I'm not going to treat you like you're a stupid person. So, in saying that, like, who's going to benefit from this? Obviously, the oil people, like the CIA, like I said, their cash cow is drugs, all right? They get a lot of black market money from drugs. Anyone that says otherwise is an idiot. And I think about how much money the American government probably gives the CIA, how much they need for their operations, how much they need for their black markety, retiree things, and how to get like people to side with them. Like, they might have to pay people off to be like, I need these bad people to basically, do what I want them to do. So how am I going to do that? I need money. So that's it. That's where the money comes from. That's why. Do the CIA have any influence with this war in Venezuela? I probably think they do, but not in the way you might be thinking. I don't think they want a war in Venezuela, again, because they probably make a lot of money off the drugs. But what probably their influence naturally is going to be is to get all their assets out before they bomb the living crap out of that country. Why do you think it's been delayed for so long? Okay, think about it. Think about the delay. Those aircraft carriers and all them ships, planes, helicopters, marines, all of that, they've been there for a while, correct? And you'd probably be like, yeah, they've been there for a few months. Why does it take a few months to bomb the shit out of a country? Doesn't, does it? Especially when you've got all the bombs and all the planes right there. It takes you 3 seconds to say to the generals and admirals, you're clear, start bombing. And then they'll give the orders and go, rightio, start loading them planes, start loading them things, send them out, start dropping them bombs. Right? Like, it doesn't take a huge amount of effort. That's not hard. Right? That's how things work. So the only reason the CIA are involved in this Venezuela thing, or even South America at all, would just be to get their assets out of the way, because they realize that They can't stop the juggernaut, but they can slow the juggernaut enough to get their assets in a safe place. Someone said hi. I'll see if I can pronounce your name correctly. Bork G. Smith. Borkja Smith. Okay. Hello, Borkja Smith. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, guys, always remember, track the money. Whenever there's war, you just track the money, because the money is the answer to everything. All right? You can find anything about history, anything, if you track the money at that time. Because even back then, like even when there was kings and queens and political intrigue and you know, other countries and all of that, basically that's where it all comes from. That's where it all answers to. So yeah, I don't know if you can get documents, financial documents that say I can link this to this, but you probably could. There's probably something out there. Oliver, hang on if I can pronounce your correct name. Is it Oliver or Olivia? Olivia Giannato Senior says, grow up. I am all grown up, Olivia Giannato. Afraid what you see is what you get. I don't know who you are. I did know an Olivia in my life. I don't like her at all. So if that's you, go to hell. I hope you burn. I hope you get cancer. I hate you. That's what I think about that, Olivia. And I have nothing good to say to you. So if that's you, you know what I think about you. You're a type of human that I'm well, that's it. That's all the time I will give that person. But yeah. So what else? Is there anything else interesting to talk about when it comes to these things? I just find it funny that we can all discuss and all know the answers, though. We can all talk about this and we'll all probably agree and go, yeah, we know. But no one really does anything. That's the amazing thing. And nothing really ever gets done to sort of fix problems. Like, no one ever looks at it and goes, we've been burning money and doing all these horrible things around the world and doing all these terrible things to people, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And what have we done? Like, I don't know what you can do exactly. I think you need more than a petition. I think you need like inquiries, like world inquiries, like a world court that says, all right, we're going to investigate the causes of this and how are we going to prevent it from ever happening again. But the trouble is when you go to those things and they're all like really powerful people, they're all in on it with each other. I mean, Bohemian Grove. Do you know how many people in Bohemian Grove are basically, from around the world, they're all connected. Like, I mean, you think Epstein had power. Bohemian Grove makes Epstein look like a nothing. All right? Bohemian Grove's been around a long time. Bohemian Grove Club is insane, right? They pray to frigging owl statues or whatnot, and then they all do weird stuff to each other. Don't know why, but that's your answer, right? You want to know who's in control of the world? I mean, you only have to look at things like that. It's not that hard. So, yeah, and look. All I can say is we'll wrap this video up shortly. You don't need to drag on. Why would we want that? Basically, look, I don't know why we allow groups like that to exist, to be honest. They clearly have too much power and they use their influence. So what we should be saying to those people is these clubs are disbanded if we catch you and this group's again like this, using your political influence, you'll be arrested and we'll find out why you were doing it. I don't know if that'll work, but you got to do something, right? Like, I know the CIA used the Epstein list to blackmail all the people on the list. That's why you could never get it. So that's essentially why, and we all know that. So, yeah, I mean, it's not crazy talk, okay? This isn't crazy talk. This is stuff we all know, right? Like, you might be like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I believe you, so then it's not crazy. And all I can say is, well, what have any of us really done about it? What can we do? And I think your answer would be the same as mine, which is, probably nothing, really. There's nothing you can do. And so the world continues its cycle of poop. Because that's apparently what we're really good at, is pooping on each other all the time, non-stop. And we don't seem to learn from our mistakes. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know. If you ask me if we're heading for a third world war, technically speaking, I would say we're pretty much there. But I don't think at any point in this history are we actually going to call it World War III. I think it'll be like, like China invades Taiwan, North Korea will take that advantage and try and attack South Korea. Although I've run the scenario with ChatGPT on the North Korea thing, and all I can say is, yeah, I played the role of North Korea, and I got whooped in like 3 days. Like, the army got completely obliterated just by South Korea. In 3 days, it was over. So, yeah, so the North Korea thing, South Korea, according to the, if you run the scenario, yeah, that doesn't end well for North Korea very quickly. And if, I haven't run the scenario, I don't know if anyone else has, of Taiwan versus China. You can, and let me know if you want, how that plays out. I would expect China to win, but only because they got such stupid amount of numbers of everything. It would be crazy to think that Taiwan could hold China off for a long period of time. The only reason that Ukraine has held Russia off is because we sent them the West sent them a whole bunch of weapons. So I'm pretty sure without those weapons, Ukraine would have been beaten. So, yeah. On its own, Ukraine didn't stand a chance, but we did help them. So we just didn't put boots on the ground or jets in the air, which is, if you ever wanted to end that war, that's all you'd have to do is put boots on the ground and put a no-fly zone over Ukraine, and then you win, and that's it. Hello, Doge Cat Rants. Are you the person that always goes on about 9/11, like you love 9/11 or something? Can't remember. I think you were that person. We never understood the reference, by the way. But yeah, I'm actually going to wrap this video up because I feel like this is long enough. Does it really need to be any longer than this? So peace. Take care, guys. I will see you later. Where's the off button? What's this do? No, we don't want to poll. Yes.